wondered how so many people post daily to Instagram? Because I definitely have, and it's been something that I have been scratching my head about for years. I really have never understood how so many people are able to post daily to social media and not burn out. I feel like there's so many variables at any one time in my business, and posting to social media can sometimes just be a complete and utter drag for me. However, I think I've finally cracked the code how it has worked for me and how I have finally been able to maintain a routine with posting daily to Instagram. And I wanted to share a couple of little tips around this today. So thank you so much for clicking on this video today. And if you are new here, my name is Kaylee June and I'm a beauty and fashion photographer based near Sydney, Australia. However, in the last couple of years, I've started this channel to talk about all things freelance, business, social media, just anything to do with business really, because I really love it. And I also don't think that there's enough freelance communities out there where we can all talk about freelancing as a business, but I really love having this space on YouTube where we can really come together as sole traders or whatever you classify yourself as, individuals running their own businesses, and really just talk about everything related to that. So we are going to be talking about Instagram today and how I've managed to maintain a daily posting routine for the past nearly 6 months. It's something I'm very proud of. I really didn't think that I would get this far with posting daily on Instagram. I kind of did it as a bit of an experiment, and because there was other things that I wanted to find out with Instagram and the algorithm and how posting daily would affect that. And I'm going to be doing more videos on that in future. But for now, I'm still posting daily. So I want to talk about how I've managed to get to this point of 6 months and some of the things that have helped me to really create that routine and make it easy for myself along the way, to really kind of make it not that big of a deal. Because as I said at the beginning of the video, I feel like posting daily to social media for a lot of people, it seems like a big deal. And to me, it did as well. And for many years, I could not maintain a routine of doing this. It was way too hard for me to try and fit this in while I was also doing YouTube videos, photo shoots, editing, courses, marketing, accounting, like everything that comes along with having my own business. And then posting daily to social media when I'm actually not that much of a social media person either is just very draining sometimes. So here's a few quick tips on what has really helped me to create this routine of posting daily and really trying to make it as simple as possible. So I really want to start with a simple concept today, and you might have already heard of something similar to this before. I know that it's come up in a few books that I've read, and in particular, I believe it's the book Atomic Habits, and it's actually a thing called habit stacking. Now, I've kind of had my own version of this going for the last 6 months, where I found that I was already doing something each day, which I've simply added this task onto doing as well. So I knew that I was doing a certain thing at a particular point each day, and then I've gone and added on an Instagram post to this habit, if that makes sense. So it's not necessarily another productive habit that I had going every day, but it was just something that I noticed that I had started doing for myself. And it was really a goal that I'd had actually at the beginning of the year, was to make a little bit more time for some self-care. So at the end of every workday for me, I was leaving my computer. So I've kind of got 2 levels in my house, and I was leaving my computer, leaving this particular office room where I work, because I like to keep that separate from the rest of my home. And I closed off the door. I would go downstairs. I would make myself a cup of tea at around 5:30 p.m. in the evening, go and make myself a cup of tea or a decaf coffee, and then I would go and sit on the couch and maybe start to watch a K-drama, or maybe I would be sitting on the couch just relaxing or reading a book. So I would have different activities going on at that point in the day, but it would always be the same thing. I would really take that time to just either have an hour or a few hours then before dinner, where I could really relax and I really didn't have to think about work too much. Now, the one thing as well that I was aiming to do with my Instagram account that I'm going to talk about, and it's my Kaylee Journeys account, so it's my second Instagram account, and it's where I've done a lot of my kind of passion projects. So just, travel photography, travel videography. It's really a bit of a passion of mine that has been there for a number of years now, and I wanted to kind of have this going as a bit of a side hustle this year and continue it on. So I actually wanted to treat this as much as I could like it wasn't work. I already have enough work to do with my other stuff going on with my other photography channel, with my other photography business. So for this, I really wanted it to not feel like work as well. I wanted to be inspired to post on there, but I was really scratching my head at how I was going to do this daily without having it feel like a chore with posting to Instagram so often. So one thing I found that really helped in the end was using this time in the day that I was already very set in a routine of doing. So I was going downstairs, getting a cup of of tea, sitting on the couch. I used that framework to then sit down and instead of jumping straight maybe into a K-drama or maybe a TV series or even reading a book, I would actually use this time where I was just really getting in a relaxed state to post something on Instagram. And I found that it really helped because it almost felt like I wasn't doing work. In my mind, I'd already sort of shut off for the day in terms of work and really feeling like I was at work. I knew that that was my time of the day to go and relax and to kind of just enjoy a cup of tea. And I really found that adding that extra little habit of just making an Instagram reel didn't make too much of a difference in my day. It didn't make too much of a difference with my stress levels. I'd already accepted the fact that my work had kind of ended for the day. And so I was just kind of in a chill, almost creative space. And it felt like I was still in a creative enough space as well to sort of do this. I think because I was so relaxed and I felt like all the pressure had kind of been taken off of the whole workday. I used to write this into my to-do lists, and that's when it was really becoming a chore for me. I was really not enjoying making reels and making content on Instagram because I was always on my to-do list. So it's actually something that I took off my to-do list and just ended up having as like a side habit for the day in conjunction with doing something that I found enjoyable. And I truly think that that has been the key to me having it going now for so long. For 6 months nearly, I have been posting a reel daily onto Instagram. And it's funny because I found it really difficult beforehand as well, really thinking about concepts and really overthinking, I feel at times, how to create a reel and what I should be creating and what's popular at the moment. But once I started this habit, I would sit down for about 5 to 10 minutes, flick through Instagram Reels, have a look at what audio was trending on the day or during the week, and really look at what was popular, what other people were doing. I'd get a really good sense for that, and then I'd sort of just come up with an idea. This isn't always the easiest thing to do, by the way. Sometimes thinking of an idea for a reel on the spot is tricky, and there have been days where I've been tired at the end of the day, and it has been harder than a lot of other days to make a reel. But at the same time, I think once I was set in that routine of doing it, there was just like this determination in me that was like, no, you're going to make a reel, you're going to do it, you're going to sit here, you're going to have your cup of tea and you're going to do it. You know it's not going to take long. And then I would just kind of get on with it and get the job done. And I found sometimes it was nice with having that pressure taken off earlier in the day when you're working to really think of reels, to think of ideas. I found it was a really good chance for me to be a little bit more spontaneous with the kind of content I was creating. And I also felt like this worked really well for Instagram Reels in particular, since trends change like that. And especially when it comes to trending audio, you know, it can be trending one day and not trending the next. So bulk doing a lot of this beforehand was not always the best option for reels in particular for Instagram. So instead what I do, if I wanted to have a bit more of a backlog of reels that I could access on a day where I was maybe tired or really not feeling it, I would actually create several at once. If I was feeling good on any given day, I would create several reels and then I would put them into Planoly so then I could then schedule them for different days. And I felt that that really changed how I was planning everything too. It just took so much pressure off always scheduling that time into the workday to do it. Instead, it became something that I kind of semi-enjoyed, just sitting down in the evening, enjoying my cup of tea or coffee, and then just kind of having that creative time to just think about reels and to just specifically focus on that one task, but with nothing on a to-do list necessarily for me to check off. So it didn't really feel like work. And I found that especially after around a month or so, the routine had really kicked in by that point. So it really did become second nature. And ever since, I have been traveling. In the meantime, I've been doing things, I've been busy, and I've still every day managed to post a reel, which I've been really proud of myself for. And you might ask, well, there might be times where I've been traveling and I haven't had that necessary exact routine of sitting down for a cup of tea. So instead, what I did with that, because I know that I'd be busy throughout the day and maybe at dinner time, I would actually do it right when I was in bed at night. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to mix digital devices and sleeping and bedtime and kind of things like that, but it was just something I used as a backup option if I found that I wasn't going to have that day-to-day routine where I had that time earlier on in the evening. Then I would use my bedtime just before bed, have a cup of chamomile or peppermint tea, and just sit there and do the exact same thing. And I found that that really helped on the days where I wasn't able to get it done earlier. And the fact that I've been posting for so long now, it was a really great thing in the end, because after about a month, as I mentioned, the routine really stuck. So I sort of thought, well, how far can I push this and how long can I go? But also, what else can I add to this that might really help my cause even more? So I actually started posting to TikTok daily, and I've been posting to TikTok daily for around 5 months now. So that was actually another really easy habit to start, because I would make my reel on Instagram, pretty much just transition it over to TikTok or something similar, and then post it there. And I was finding that it was just a very easy task for me to do because I was already in the habit of doing Instagram. So adding on that extra one was really not an issue at all. So I do have some tips about how you can make this even easier. So I've talked about the structure of setting up more of a routine that might help you with being a little bit more consistent with daily posting. But in terms of the actual content itself, I do have a few tips to make this a little bit easier on yourself and to not make it so stressful or to make it something that you begin to overthink a lot. So for the most part, I was sticking to making reels that are 9 seconds or shorter. Now you can absolutely make longer form content if you wish. It's just something that I had started to do a lot more of because I was really trying to build my Instagram up. I didn't have many followers on my second account and I really wanted to build that up as quickly as possible. So I was like, I need to make this easy for myself. And one way to start making it easier for yourself initially when posting daily to Instagram is to create shorter reels. So I was doing 9 seconds and under. It's really kind of a lot easier to get eyes on it usually when it's 9 seconds and under as well. So you do see progress quite quickly and it's a little bit shorter and not so intensive to make. The second tip is reusing content. Now this is actually a big one because if I'm being honest, I haven't actually produced more original content in months. So it's actually been months since I last went traveling, and being that this is my travel Instagram, I don't actually travel all the time. So instead of feeling pressure to always be getting out there and shooting, I've actually been using and reusing a lot of the footage that I've had on trips that I took last year because I was doing quite a bit of traveling last year or even earlier this year. And I've just been picking from each of those trips and really reusing some of the content. And when I say reusing as well, I will reuse some of the ideas that I have already done into a reel. I do this because not everyone that visits your Instagram page is actually going to see your older content. And especially when it comes to reels, it's pretty rare that they're ever going to scroll that far down and see the exact same content these days and actually notice. So one thing that I found to really help with that and to not be so stressed about making daily content is to reuse those ideas every now and then, because chances are most people that have clicked on your page recently haven't seen it already. Now I know it's not always easy. For example, if you're a travel content creator like me and you don't actually get to travel, or you haven't actually been traveling as much maybe over the last couple of years, it's harder to go back to that content and sort of pick out those new things without producing more original content. But I would say dedicating certain days to that and really taking as much as possible, as much video like past 9 seconds, so you can kind of just have a single frame reel. That will make things a lot easier for you in future, and really dedicating those days and putting those days aside to go and produce that content definitely helps. Along with reusing content and ideas, I actually reuse the audio, the trending audio that I'm using. So this is something I've been doing quite recently, where if I find a track that I found has done really well on one of my reels, I'll just reuse it every now and then, because honestly, it's not something that I even notice when I'm following other people and seeing their reels. I really wouldn't be able to tell you whether they've used that audio before or not, even if I have seen their previous reels, for the most part in general when it comes to this. So I'd highly recommend reusing audio if you feel like it's done well on a reel. You don't always have to be searching for brand new trending audio. If there's still trending audio out there that you've already used, just go ahead and use it again. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And some of my videos have done really, really well when I've reused the audio several times. But I think the key takeaway from this video overall is to make sure that whatever routine you're trying to create for yourself to post daily content to social media, make sure that it's easy and make sure that it's simple and achievable. Because the moment you make it a little bit more complicated or stressful or overwhelming, it's going to be really hard to stick to this daily posting routine. I feel like this has been the best way for me to create that routine, has been finding something that I already love doing throughout the day and just kind of like tacking it onto that. And it was just such an easy, simple thing that I really never thought would make such a difference, but it really has. I've never posted to social media for this long daily before, so this has been one of the ways that I've been able to do so in conjunction with using PLANOLY, which is a platform that I've talked about a little bit on this channel before. And I am actually a partner with PLANOLY, so if you are interested and you want to sign up for a subscription with them, there is a discount link in the description box below. But I do enjoy scheduling some of my content too. If I know I'm going to be busy in any given week, then I'll find a day where I'm in a really good mood maybe, and I'll be sitting down having my coffee or tea, and I'll just make several at once. If I know that I'm in a good mood, or if I know that I'm sort of in a creative mood, then I'll keep that creativity going if I can. So I really hope you enjoyed this video today, and I hope that some of these tips have really helped you out. If you're a little bit more like me and you like to have kind of a to-do list, but you don't like a set schedule for everything that goes on within your business, I feel like this might be something for you to really consider. I just find that taking all that pressure off sometimes really helps with my creativity as well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, make sure that you do, because I'll be posting much more content like this in future. Let me know what you want to see in the comments section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.